Hello everyone. Welcome to Clasital's Listening Map Labeling question and answer session. Today I'm going to share some strategies with you and we will look at some listening questions. Let me see. Yes, I see similar faces too. Hello, thank you for the welcomes. Yes. Good to see you too. Okay, today we're going to learn some tips and strategies about the map labeling questions, and we will look at the examples from section 1, section 2, and section 3. These kind of questions are often easy when you get used to them. But first, you should practice them a little bit. Map labeling, diagram labeling questions. Maybe you can do some practicing with them with this question type because you should get used to the style of the questions actually. There are, let me continue with the tips and strategies. There are two types of map labeling questions, and in the first one, you should write the correct letter from the word bank, as you will see today. As we will see today, my all examples are from the writing the correct letter things question type. Other type of the map labeling question is write the correct words while listening. This question type can come in the every section of the text, every section of the test. So we don't know you can come across with this type of question every part of the tests, and questions come up in the same order as the audio. So first you will hear the answer for question 1, then you will hear the answer for question 2, and it will go on like that. You should pay attention to the word limits. You should check your spellings always. You should use capital letters correctly too. This is an important part of the exam. And if you are not certain, write them all with the capital letters. Don't leave any questions unanswered because you won't lose points because of a wrong answer. So don't leave it blank. Write it, make an educated guess. Maybe it will be true and you will get a point. So don't leave any question blank. Make yourself familiar with the direction. Right, left, above, below, north, south, east, west, adjoining, corner, intersection. You should get familiar with these words to be able to answer these questions. Okay, let's start slowly. Yes, in here I have a long audio and I have section 1, 2, 3, and 4 questions. We will see. Okay, my advice to you. You should follow the road, follow the audio as you listen. For example, if it says we are at the main street mall, let me make it a little bit bigger. Let me zoom in. Yes. If the audio says we are at the main street and I am turning left, go left. Imagine yourself being on the road, and if it is says go to the left, you should go to the left. And if it is says the building on you see on your right, imagine yourself you're on that road and you are that building is on your right. You should pay attention. Just follow the audio. Imagine that you are walking. Okay, let me start the audio. Let's listen to it once, and let me send you the options. Yes, these ones. We are going to write the correct letter corresponding to the digital library console. Yes. We will look for a supermarket, a park, a market, an office block, a gymnasium, a library, and a council. It says write the correct letter A to I next to the location mentioned in the questions 1 to 7. And these are my 1 to 7 questions that I send you from the chat part. Let's listen to it fully, and you will have time to look at the maps too. Then write down your answers. You can write them on the chat part, or you can take notes and write it in at the end. But first, let's listen.
Section 1. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 7. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 7.
Good evening. I've been asked to speak to you about the proposed plan for the improvement of our town center. As you know, there was extensive community consultation before the designers were engaged. I'm sure you'll agree that a great many of your concerns have been acknowledged and incorporated into the draft plan that you see before you. Firstly, you'll notice that the existing supermarket has been enlarged. It's the biggest building you see on the plan, on the south side of the Main Street Mall. You can see that the part of Main Street in the town center has been turned into a pedestrian mall. We're planning extensive plantings of shrubs and small trees to provide shade. There'll be plenty of parking for supermarket shoppers on the west side of the building, and a few spaces to the south facing the park. The park will not be touched except for the addition of a small artificial lake, which we hope will attract ducks and other bird life. We've taken into account your petition not to expand the tavern. I know some of you wanted it removed from the town center altogether, so it will be discreetly screened from public view by more trees. The existing car park at the rear of the tavern will remain. Opposite the tavern, on the other side of Main Street, there will be a covered market. The Saturday Farmers Market is hugely popular, but stallholders have suffered from a lot of bad weather recently. We think everyone will be happy with this part of the redevelopment. These two rectangular buildings here, in the middle of the plan, are new. We plan to demolish the existing shops, some of which are unsound anyway, and put up these two modern buildings instead. The one across Bay Road from the market will house boutiques, delicatessens, and other specialty shops all under one roof. The other one to the west will contain offices, so you'll have convenient access to all the professionals in town inside one building. The swimming pool will remain where it is, of course. The school is a major user of the pool, so to make it safer for students to cross Swan Road, a pedestrian crossing will be installed in front of the school gymnasium. You can see we've planned a gap in the trees here on the Main Street Mall so that students will be able to walk across the Main Street Mall straight to the pool. Another pedestrian crossing to the west of the pool will give students and other users safer access to the new library here. Library users will be able to share the supermarket parking. We expect that Swan Road may become a busier thoroughfare once the main street has been converted to pedestrians only, but we'll address that issue in the second stage of the development. In the meantime, the east end of Swan Road will be converted into a public car park here, between the council building and the market.
Before you hear
Okay, how was it? Was it easy? Was it difficult? If you're able to finish two, that is 1 and 5, please. What does it mean? Tricky? Yes, it is a little bit tricky. It says section 1, but I think this is from section 2. No, but how was it? A dialogue, a monologue? Yes, I think so too. It is a little bit tricky. Let's see it from the beginning. It was easy? Where is your answers then? Where are your answers then? We are moving with the audio. Let me see. We will see it. We will move with the audio. And we will pay attention to north, south, east, and west. We will pay attention to that ones because she's using them a lot.
Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 7.
Good evening. I've been asked to speak to you about the proposed plan for the improvement of our town center. As you know, there was extensive community consultation before the designers were engaged. I'm sure you'll agree that a great many of your concerns have been acknowledged and incorporated into the draft plan that you see before you. Firstly, you'll notice that the existing supermarket has been enlarged. It's the biggest building you see on the plan, on the south side of the Main Street Mall.
Okay, it is the biggest building at the south part of the Main Street Mall. And in here I see this S for the south. What is on the side of the Main Street Mall? Sorry. Very good, Damon. Other than the Damon, can you guess it? Can you know it? Do you have If I don't have any other answer, I will take it as you all have understood it. Okay, let's continue.
You can see that the part of Main Street in the town center has been turned into a pedestrian mall. We're planning extensive plantings of shrubs and small trees to provide shade. There'll be plenty of parking for supermarket shoppers on the west side of the building, and a few spaces to the south facing the park. The park will not be touched except for the addition of a small artificial lake, which we hope will attract ducks and other bird life.
Okay, here she's talking about a park on the side of the car park, and there will be a lake, an artificial lake, and there will be some trees, and this park will be at the side of the, yes, this is H, will be at the side of the supermarket. So supermarket is I have H and I have J, so we are continuing from here. Am I? Yes, you can hear me.
We've taken into account your petition not to expand the tavern. I know some of you wanted it removed from the town center altogether, so it will be discreetly screened from public view by more trees. The existing car park at the rear of the tavern will remain. Opposite the tavern, on the other side of Main Street, there will be a covered market. The Saturday farmers market is hugely popular, but stallholders have suffered from a lot of bad weather recently. We think everyone will be happy with this part of the redevelopment. These two rectangular buildings here, in the middle of...
Sorry, I couldn't stop it. Yes, it is E. Right? Yes, okay. Do you want to listen to that part again? I have two different answers. Let me listen to it again.
By more trees. The existing car park at the rear of the tavern will remain. Opposite the tavern, on the other side of Main Street, there will be a covered market.
They're saying opposite of the tavern, okay. It says the other part of the main road, other part of the road. So it, because it says other part of the road, it is E. There will be covered market. Now I will listen for office blocks. Office block. Sorry, no S.
Market. The Saturday farmers market is hugely popular, but stallholders have suffered from a lot of bad weather recently. We think everyone will be happy with this part of the redevelopment. These two rectangular buildings here, in the middle of the plan, are new. We plan to demolish the existing shops, some of which are unsound anyway, and put up these two modern buildings instead. The one across Bay Road from the market will house boutiques, delicatessens, and other specialty shops all under one roof. The other one to the west will contain offices, so you'll have convenient access to all the professionals in town inside one building.
Very good. Very good, very good. Okay, so you can see that it is C. So maybe you need a second listening. Make yourself familiar with types of question type. In the second time it seems easy, yes. Maybe because that I am stopping them, but imagine yourself in the exam and try to make yourself used to like the, okay, this was this questions. It finished, next question. It finished, next question. Look at them as question, not a long thing, but look at them as question. So you should divide yourself. You should manage your time.
The swimming pool will remain where it is, of course. The school is a major user of the pool, so to make it safer for students to cross Swan Road, a pedestrian crossing will be installed in
Pedestrian crossing. Do we know what is this? Pedestrian. I think you know. Pedestrian crossing is the zebra lines here. To pass the Sven Road, they made a pedestrian crossing in front of the school gymnasium. Did she say that part?
is a major user of the pool, so to make it safer for students to cross Swan Road, a pedestrian crossing will be installed in front of the school gymnasium. You can see
Yes. A pedestrian crossing is made in front of the school gymnasium. So it makes the gymnasium A in front of. And she will talk about another pedestrian cross, and it is here. But you will see. Pay attention to north, south, east, west.
we've planned a gap in the trees here on the Main Street Mall so that students will be able to walk across the Main Street Mall straight to the pool. Another pedestrian crossing to the west of the pool will give students and other users safer access to the new library here. Library users will be able to share the supermarket parking.
Yes, library is F. And lastly, I have the council.
We expect that Swan Road may become a busier thoroughfare once the Main Street has been converted to pedestrians only, but we'll address that issue in the second stage of the development. In the meantime, the east end of Swan Road will be converted into a public car park here, between the council building and the market.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to
I missed the last question. Let's listen to it again.
That issue in the second stage of the development. In the meantime, the east end of Swan Road will be converted into a public car park here, between the council building and the market.
It was a little bit tricky. Okay, it says the east side of the can you hear me? Yes. Okay. The east side of the Sven Road will be made public car park between the market and the council. So I know that E is the market, so it makes B the council. I think this is a little bit difficult. No, we use the C here, supermarket. And it says east of the Swan Road. So this is the east of the Swan Road. Or Bay Road? Yes, last one was a little bit quick. And you can miss it very quickly because it sounds like it won't end there, but it stops. Okay, let's continue.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 8 to 10. Now listen and answer questions
this is more straightforward. In this one, we will actually follow the road. Follow the road. We have Eastern Towers, Granby Mansions, and Busby Garden. Strictly follow the road and you will find it. Let's listen to it. Imagine yourself walking down on the road.
Eight to 10.
Are you looking to move into a flat soon?
I hope so, yes.
The thing is, we have a few flats at the moment that we'd like to get rented out by the end of the month.
I see.
They're all good flats, and at the price you want. There's one in Eastern Towers, one in Granby Mansions, and another in Busby Garden. All three are nice blocks of flats.
Could you tell me where they are? I'm at the train station at the moment.
Eastern Towers, if you're coming from the station, isn't very far. Cross over City Bridge, then go left, and where the road divides, you want the right-hand fork. You'll see Eastern Towers on the left side of the road. It's a lovely building with trees around it.
That sounds nice. What about Granby Mansions?
And the best way to get there from the station is probably to go down River Road and then cross over Old Bridge. The road bends to the right round the park, and if you follow along, you'll find it there on the left side. That's a great location with lovely views of the park.
Very nice. And you said there was one more?
Busby Garden, yes. Okay, from the station, cross over City Bridge, keep going through the first crossroads until you come to the second crossroads. Busby Garden will be facing you over to the right side. It's very convenient for the shops.
Fine, thank you. Well, I'll see you on Saturday.
Okay, what do you think? BHE. Very good. It was more straightforward, right? Go there, do this. Very good. You did the last question correct too. I am very happy for this. It is turn right, go there, do this. BHE. Very good. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, this one is rather easy, so I won't repeat it again. If you want, you can later find it at the Clasital's webpage, so you can do it from here. Let's continue. We have a rather complicated one. It looks more like a plan rather than a map, but I think in the end they are quite similar. We have outdoor pool, aquatic center, turnstile, stairs to mezzanine level, car park, reception, and I have an arrow here. Maybe this arrow will show me something. And in here, woohoo! Maybe it will say the second room, third room. Let me see, crash, crash, and it will be. Do you know what is crash? Crash is like the children center. And I have IHCEBDA. A, B, where is C? There's C. A, B, C, D, E. F is here. HIA. No, you have understood me. Okay, let me send you the questions. I have administration's office. Yes, it looks rather complicated, right? Don't be worried, my students, we will do it. Is it 11? Yes. Administration's office, sports medicine clinic, bike racks, cafe, conference room, men's locker room, and we have a pool shop. Let's listen to it.
Right-hand fork. You'll see Eastern.
Now turn to section 2.
Section 2. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 17. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 17.
It's so nice to see so many people here on our open day. I hope you'll be impressed by what you see and that you'll all decide to join up. We have tried to cover all aspects of sport and fitness here at the centre. Well, let's start, shall we? As we're standing here at reception looking down the long corridor, you'll notice the car park on your left, where most of you have parked, asks you to reverse into the parking spaces for safety reasons. Also, this morning, a couple of keen potential members rode their bikes right in through the door instead of leaving their bikes outside there on your right, where the secure bike stands are. You may be wondering why there are so many mothers arriving with little children. As we proceed, you'll see that this first room on your right is a creche, where you can leave your little ones for up to 2 hours and they'll be expertly supervised while you work out. After the creche, on the same side of the corridor, is the male locker room with showers, spa and sauna. Opposite that, on your left, there's a staircase leading to the mezzanine floor. You'll not only get a great view out over the playing fields, but you'll also find a coffee shop and snack bar selling a range of wholesome food and drinks, protein shakes, fruit smoothies, that kind of thing. We won't go up the stairs at this point. I'll give you some time later when you can explore at your leisure. Most of you in the group are women, so next let me point out the women's locker room, which has the same facilities as the men's, things like showers, spa and sauna. It's separated from the men's locker room by an office which the staff mainly use for administrative purposes. As we move on the same side of the corridor as the stairs, you'll see the entrance to the main hall, where they hold yoga classes, aerobics and so on. On the wall here, there is a timetable of all group classes and it is updated regularly. Now, opposite the hall is the gymnasium itself. Go ahead, have a look. Impressive, isn't it? Very spacious, light and airy.
Hello. Something is wrong? Yes. I have realized it too. In here it does something. Maybe the place that I take the questions. First it talks about the bike racks, then it talks about the cafe, then I heard the men's locker room, and it goes like this, but they are not going in order. But usually they do. Yes. I could edit them right now, but it will take much longer time. Let's try to do it. Let's just do it. But don't worry, during the exam they will come in order. So you don't have to search for it. Let's do what we can do, and then we can move on to the next one. It's okay. Yes, I have catch some of these too, but yes, it is a little bit complicated. Let me see. Very good. You have catch most of them. Let's finish it then. I think you are doing very good, even if in these conditions.
Mainly used for administrative purposes. As we move on the same side of the corridor as the stairs, you'll see the entrance to the main hall, where they hold yoga classes, aerobics, and so on. On the wall here, there is a timetable of all group classes, and it is updated regularly. Now, opposite the hall is the gymnasium itself. Go ahead, have a look. Impressive, isn't it? Very spacious, light and airy, with all the most modern equipment. As we continue down the corridor past the main hall, on the same side there is a conference room. This is mainly used when the centre is hosting a big sports event of some kind. It gives the officials a quiet place to gather and have meetings and so on. You'll have seen the 400-metre athletics track on your way in beside the car park. We have some pretty big athletics conventions here. Well, after a strenuous workout, I bet there's nothing you'd like more than a swim in the aquatic complex. But first, these rooms on our right are all part of the sports medicine clinic, where you have access to a doctor, physiotherapist, massage therapist, podiatrist, and even a sports psychologist if you need one. Of course, you'll need to make appointments, but if you have any questions, just pop in and see the clinic receptionist and she'll help you out. Okay, let's go through the turnstile ahead of us. And here we are, in the aquatic centre. Turn left, past the pool shop where you can buy or hire goggles, swim caps and such like, and we're outside, poolside. Beautiful, isn't it? Especially on a day like today. Go on, dip your toes in the water, and if that's not warm enough for you, then I'll take you to the indoor pool, which is less than half the size, but heated to 32 degrees. Let's go back past the pool shop and through the double doors to the indoor pool. Well, that's all I have time to show you. Let's go back to the reception area, and if you like, we can run through some details about opening hours, membership and so on.
Before you
This was a rather difficult one for me, because yes, they are not in order. I heard the administration office. What did she say? I think it is here, down the hall. Yes, when the questions come in order, it is easier. But now, yes, it is sports medicine clinic. Huh. She was talking about this place. See, the sports clinic, sports psychiatrist, blah blah. Bike racks are on the outside of the sports center. Logically, cafe. She talked about the cafe here. Some of you have catch it. Yes, very good. We have the conference room. She said we are using it when they host come on, when they host crowded groups, and it was on the B here, right? Yes, it was the opposite. Go down the hall, it was the opposite of the thing. Yes, okay. Men's locker room, she said, it is next to here. For example, I missed that one too. I catch it on the second time. And the pool shop is here at the enter the turnstile, and it was on the left something. Yes, she said something like this, so it make my answer A. Very good. You have catch them. Very good, very good. Bhutan is here. Is he still here? Yes, I'm glad to see you. Okay, let's continue. It says label the plan below. Actually, I want to do that one. We still have time. Okay. We still have time. Label the plan below. Yes, this is a plan, but don't worry, they are all similar things. Plan, maps, they will all say turn right, turn left. But on the maps, as an extra, you will see north, south, east, west signs. Let's listen to it.
Hear the rest of the conversation.
You have some time to look at questions 18 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 18 to 20.
Now, the area occupied by Hollylands is rather large, and we don't want people to get lost, so I'll just give you a few pointers to help you orientate yourselves. So, whether you come by car or bicycle, you'll come in from the road. Cars then park to the left through the gates into the car park, and bikes to the right through the gates opposite. Cyclists in particular might be feeling thirsty at this point, and you can get a drink from the machine at the end of the bike park, halfway to the museum entrance. You can enjoy your drink in the picnic area, which is opposite the car park. For anyone who doesn't have a mobile phone, there are payphones at the far end of the picnic area. Over at the opposite end of the picnic area, across the path, are the toilets. Next to them, and just to the right of the entrance to the main museum, is the first aid room, which we hope you won't need, but it's there in case you do. If you have any queries, please go to the manager's office, which is behind the picnic area. And last but not least, you'll need to buy your tickets or show your group pass to the ticket office on the left of the museum entrance. Okay, I'll pause there. Are there any questions at this point?
Okay, she was quite quick. Okay, I had so many things too. AEC, okay, I will take them as correct. Let's continue with uh, another tips from me. Okay, we have write the letters A, B, C, whatever. Then I don't need to spend time on checking my answers, but you will be given time to check your answers always. But there is nothing to check, so move on to the next question and check it. Let's now see let's see what.
That is the end of section 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Okay, I don't need to check my answers. I haven't written anything. I have just wrote some letters. Now I can check this one. Identify the areas on the map and write down the correct letter A to F next to the question 21 to 24. So I have 4 questions here. I am sending you the options. Oops, Zoom. Okay.
Now turn to section 3. Section 3. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 24.
Now he is giving us time, but we have already checked some of them.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 24.
Now, let me just tell you a bit about what you can see in the sculpture park. If you look at your map, you'll see the visitor centre, where we are now, at the bottom, just by the entrance. Since we only have an hour, you might not be able to get right around the park, but you can choose to visit some of the highlights. You might like to take a look at the Joe Tremaine sculptures, which are displayed on this side of the upper lake, just behind the Education Centre and near the bridge. They're really impressive, but please remember not to let your children climb on them. One of our most popular exhibitions is the Giorgio Catalucci bird sculptures. They're just across the bridge on the north side of the lower lake. I love the way they're scattered around in the long grass beside the lake, looking as if they're just about to take to their wings. You could also go to the garden gallery. It's on this side of the upper lake. From the visitor centre, you go to the education centre, then keep on along the path and you'll see it on your right. There's an exhibition of animal carvings there which is well worth a look. We also have the Longhouse. That's quite a walk. From here, you go to the bridge and then turn left on the other side. Soon you'll see a winding pathway going up towards the northern boundary of the park. Go up there and you'll find it at the top. They have some abstract metal sculptures that are well worth seeing if you have time. Okay, well, now, if you...
Before you hear the rest...
Okay, this was rather quick too, but you were able to catch it, right? Sorry. Yes, the thing, you are following the directions with your finger, with your pencil, with your mouse. It doesn't matter, but you will follow the road, and even if you miss the last exit, the last instruction, you will be able to guess. Let's say, for example, he said, from the visitor center, you will cross the bridge, turn the left, then you couldn't hear the last, let's say. But you know that it is either C, D, or A. And when you heard something like the zigzag road, what does it say? I don't remember. But he said something related to this road, zigzag road, I will say. So you can So from there, you can find the answer. It was E, upper the lower leg, C, F, A. So these are my answers. E, C, F, A. Okay, the last one. Let me send you the questions. Spider footpaths, colored road surface. Colored road surface? Come on, this is black and white. New sign, traffic lights, artwork, children's playground. So I have some streets. Label the map below. I think this is again a plan, but it's okay, as I say. They are very similar. Ready? Let's see.
Rest of the discussion, you have some time to look at questions 25 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 25 to 30.
Now, we've also put together a map which we sent out to all the residents in the area. And on the map we've marked the proposed changes. Firstly, we'll plant mature pine trees to provide shelter and shade just to the right of the supermarket in Days Road. In order to address the traffic problems, the pavements on the corner of Carberry and Thomas Street will be widened. This will help to reduce the speed of vehicles entering Thomas Street. We think it's very important to separate the local residential streets from the main road, so the roadway at the entrance to Thomas Street from Days Road will be painted red. This should mark it more clearly and act as a signal for traffic to slow down. One way of making sure that the pedestrians are safe is to increase signage at the intersections. A Keep Clear sign will be erected at the junction of Evelyn Street and Hill Street to enable traffic to exit at all times. Something we're planning to do to help control the flow of traffic in the area is to install traffic lights halfway down Hill Street where it crosses Days Road. Now, we haven't only thought about the cars and traffic, of course. There's also something for the children. We're going to get school children in the area to research a local story, the life of a local sports hero, perhaps. And an artist will incorporate that story into paintings on the wall of a building on the other side of Hill Street from the supermarket. And finally, we've agreed to build a new children's playground, which will be at the other end of Hill Street, close to the intersection with Carberry Street.
Wonderful. Now, what's the next stage?
Well, the final plan will...
That is the end of section.
Whew. There were so many roads. Okay, let me see the answers. Maybe we can listen to it again. I will write the answers here. Sometimes it is good to hear the audio when you know the answers. Okay, now we are going to listen to the audio in the light of the answers.
This should mark it more.
Now listen and answer questions 25 to 30.
Now, we've also put together a map which we sent out to all the residents in the area. And on the map we've marked the proposed changes. Firstly, we'll plant mature pine trees to provide shelter and shade just to the right of the supermarket in Days Road. In order to address the traffic problems, the pavements on the corner of Carberry and Thomas Street will be widened. This will help to reduce the speed of vehicles entering Thomas Street. We think it's very important to separate the local residential streets from the main road, so the roadway at the entrance to Thomas Street from Days Road will be painted red. This should mark it more clearly and act as a signal for traffic to slow down. One way of making sure that the pedestrians are safe is to increase signage at the intersections. A Keep Clear sign will be erected at the junction of Evelyn Street and Hill Street to enable traffic to exit at all times. Something we're planning to do to help control the flow of traffic in the area is to install traffic lights halfway down Hill Street where it crosses Days Road. Now, we haven't only thought about the cars and traffic, of course. There's also something for the children. We're going to get school children in the area to research a local story, the life of a local sports hero, perhaps. And an artist will incorporate that story into paintings on the wall of a building on the other side of Hill Street from the supermarket. And finally, we've agreed to build a new children's playground, which will be at the other end of Hill Street, close to the intersection with Carberry Street.
Wonderful. Now, what's the next stage?
Well,
Okay, and it goes as, what is the next stage? Good. How was it? Was it too difficult? Are the tricks applicable? I think so too. I think so. It was moderate. If you follow the road, if you know the north, west, south, and east, and if you like trace the road really, you can do this. They are not that difficult, but that point is you shouldn't miss it. We don't have an section for listening today. In the section 4, more like you will see some things like the note completion and so on, because that in the section 4 you will hear a monologue given by a professor mostly, so it will be something related to a lecture or something. So there is a little chance that they will be telling you something about a map. Maybe it can be an archaeological site, and maybe the lecturer can give you details of a map, but I haven't seen it that much. Usually, you are supposed to do something else during the section 4. Now, I have shared a post lesson survey with you. From there, you can fill out the form. If you have any suggestions, you can evaluate us, you can write to us. Other than that, this is the end of my session. Section, essay, exam. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Other than that, when you fill out the form, you are free to go. It is difficult to understand Cambridge English, like the British English. Yes, it is a little bit difficult if you're unfamiliar with it. It took me time to get to understand it too. Maybe you can read. You can listen. Let me see. I couldn't write it. BBC English. On, can I say this? I don't know. On Spotify, there are like BBC English podcasts. So maybe you can listen to them to get familiar with the British accent. There are like so many lessons there for you to listen. When you write like BBC English learning something, I am sure that you will find something. Thank you too. And this is all from me. Thank you very much, everyone. It is nice to see you. It's a pleasure to give lessons always. See you next time. Have a nice week.